I suppose, one of my first questions is, were you surprised to see the big names eliminated? But I guess we're all surprised to see the big names eliminated.
Well, I've never really wanted to back Ronnie O'Sullivan here. He's only won it 5 times in 25 years, which is poor for him. So I wasn't surprised to see Ronnie win. He had the pressure of playing an amateur, there's a lot of hype in the media over here about the fact that James Cahill was an amateur. He's actually been a professional before, and in his own mind, he's a professional. But the hype, I think, got to Ronnie. He lost the plot in the match, and when he comes off a full season, he's only ever won 3 times at the Crucible. 2 of the years he won here, he never played another tournament all year. So we've, I think you've got a really strong favourite in Neil Robertson, though. He's won the easiest. His first 2 matches, he's taken nothing out of himself, and I think he's probably going to win it because he's the fittest as well amongst the players. He's a vegan. I was worried about fatigue coming into this tournament, but all the other players are having such hard matches, knocking each other out.
Yeah.
That he's going to be in the fittest going into this second week at the later stages.
All right.
So
interesting, because when we spoke last week, Neil Robertson's name was on the cards we were talking about. So he's obviously still a name that he's still in and still has value to be backed.
I think so, yes. I mean, you've got Judd Trump playing Ding Junhui in the other half tonight as we speak, and that's 9 each. Whoever wins that match will probably play Neil Robertson in the final. I'm saying that there's been plenty of shocks this tournament, so we do not know for sure that that'll be the case.
Yeah.
But in the longer format, I think if Judd Trump can come through tonight, once he gets to one table set up for the semi-final, that will favour Judd Trump. So, Judd Trump is struggling for form. He's probably playing the worst snooker he's played all season. So it's you couldn't count anyone out at this point. You've got John Higgins playing Stuart Bingham as we talk. They're 9 each, I think, or going 9 each. So they're all playing long matches against each other, and that may well play into Neil Robertson's hands in the later stages because he will be fresh still. It does take a lot about the snooker players, the hand-to-eye coordination, concentrating, the pressure. Ali Carter came off today, said he felt wiped out last night, got himself back today, and that's understandable. I mean, like Ali Carter, Gary Wilkinson, they've come from the qualifiers, so they played 3 matches the week before as well, over 19 frames. So you would think that fatigue will start setting in a little bit with the qualifiers before the seeds at this stage.
Yeah. Tomorrow, obviously, we've got David Gilbert, Kieran Wilson. Obviously, Wilson 1.4 there, and then obviously Ali Carter, you're talking about their favourite against Gary Wilson. Do you think? How do you see the Gary Wilson Ali Carter match unfolding?
Well, I've been really impressed with how Gary Wilson's played. I went to the Crucible when he played Luca Brazil, and he turned the match on its head during the second session with good old-fashioned hard snooker, but he played positively. His break building was excellent. He never flinched under pressure. So when he came to play Selby, I wasn't sure, but I felt that he could outplay Selby and outstay him in the longer format, and Selby's a 3-time champion here. I suppose Gary Wilkinson and Carter have both got the same fatigue, so I won't be able to use one as an excuse over the other. I think if Gary Wilson produces the form he's produced in his first 2 matches, he should be too good for Ali Carter, because Ali Carter hasn't played great, but he is a fantastic match player, and he knows how to win at the Crucible. Twice a winner here, but I think in general terms, Gary Wilson's break building, cue ball control, play under pressure has been slightly the better than Ali Carter. So as a second favourite, I would suggest to have a small bet, and then if you're watching it and Gary Wilson looks comfortable, would go in, probably have another little betting run in, because they will make Ali Carter nearly a 2-to-1 favourite, like you say, 2-to-1 on. So I just want to see Gary Wilson settle into the match again, because there's a lot of hype that he's not used to getting to the quarterfinals of the World Championship, whereas Ali Carter's been to the 2 finals. He's used to it. So I do fancy. I'd like to see Gary Wilson win. I really would, and I do think if he makes a good, solid start into the match, I think he can outplay Ali Carter and win comfortably.
Wow, because odds here has got Gary Wilson 2.9 there compared to Ali Carter at 1.5, and then David Gilbert, Kieran Wilson obviously the favourite there at 1.4. How do you see that match unfolding, and what would be the best play?
Well, I did have a big bet this last round on Barry Hawkins to have the highest break over Kieran Wilson, because his century rate is twice better than Kieran Wilson. Kieran Wilson only has scored a century every 25 frames this season, whereas Barry Hawkins every 13. But in this match, Kieran Wilson made 5 centuries to Barry Hawkins 4. Barry Hawkins had 4 before Kieran Wilson had 1 in leading 6-1. And from 6-1 down, that's some of the best snooker I've seen Kieran Wilson play. Not only did he play the hard brand of snooker he's good at, his break building was first class. So I was thinking to take Dave Gilbert on the high break, because he did make 230s against Mark Williams. And normally that would be a nice bet, but Kieran Wilson has scored well. I would say just a small bet on Dave Gilbert to be the highest break score. I think it's 2.5 with Bet365.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to have a bet. They played each other in the German Masters final at the Templedrom a couple of months ago. It was a great match, and Wilson won 9-7. I'm quite a big fan of Dave Gilbert, though. He goes under the radar, and he produced a really solid standard to put out the reigning world champion Mark Williams. So I would expect him, if he plays that standard, there's no way Kieran Wilson will win very easily.
Yeah.
So again, it might be one for running, really, because we don't know how Dave Gilbert will react in his first quarter-final. Kieran Wilson is used to playing quarter-finals at the World Championship, like Ali Carter and the other one. I'd just go for the high break, really, with Dave Gilbert, just for a small bet. But
So
you could also go over the total frames in that match.
All right, so liking both underdogs in both matches. And then what was that other market that you said?
You could go over the total frames in, let me have a look, in Gilbert and Williams. What is the frame line at? Total frames, Natalie?
Total frames, I'm just going to bring that up now. Hang on a sec, name. You've got a few. You can go well, hang on a sec. Where the value is here, I would say over 21.5. You've got 1.73, but those odds probably aren't your under. You've got 21.
No, I'd leave that actually. That's too short.
Over, you've got 1.73.
Yeah, I would leave that and stick to the high break with Dave Gilbert, definitely.